Next up for you guys, I got a lot of announcements to make. First of all, my name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of Color Art Products, and I'm your host of ColorPlay Live, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends. So, yeah, I had to reschedule the last couple lives. There's been some stuff going on. So the building that we're in was sold to these two young guys, and they're about to triple the rent. That could be, a little bit of an interesting twist. And then to make, hi there, Hope, how you doing, honey? And then to add insult to injury, I've been in this house for 18 years. I don't know if it's cool or not, girl. We're going to have to find another place. It may take us about 90 days, Catherine. Catherine just said, that's cool, maybe. And then to add, to make it a little bit more fun, I've been in this house for 18 years. I know it's crazy that I'm renting, but it's like my lab, my studio. I film here. It's an office. There's not even a couch, okay? And how you doing, Connie Ray? Nice to see you, sweetheart. So after 18 years, she wants to move her daughter back in here, which means now I have to scramble around and find a house, room enough to do all this setup, and then figure out how I'm going to move 18 years worth of stuff in this house. But, you know, it's been kind of scrambling. That's why you guys haven't heard from me at all. Headed to Idaho. I know, Catherine Mefford, you're a sweetheart. It's not fair, but that's why we are doing a sale right now. Another one. We went back and I looked at the best response, and it's when we offered free freight. So right now you got a springtime 23. If your order reaches $99 after the code, it was up there for $150. I fixed it last night. If $99 after the code, you receive free freight. It's USA only. I apologize to everybody in Canada. Thank you, Connie Gray. It's so nice. So I've been watching a whole lot of, hey, Renee Brunner, how you doing, honey? Hello, everyone from Minnesota. So I've been watching Sara Taylor lately a lot. And we know she's great at the pearls. We know she does beautiful work, touch-up work after her piece is dried. She's kind of a girl after my own heart. So if you've never gone to her channel, you need to check out Sara Taylor's work. Her work is gorgeous. Hey, Mandy, how you doing, sweetheart? Welcome, welcome. So one thing that she mentioned, it was about a year ago, that when she was using house paint, and she thought it was possibly because of the weather, for her bloom, for the base, any kind of base where you're using like actual house paint from the hardware store, it kept cracking on her. Now, I myself am not thrilled about house paint at all. I have my own issues with it. They're not all the same in every country. Interesting enough, United States has spent a lot of time, pretty much the last 3.5, 4 decades, with Home Shopping Network, do it yourself. I probably mentioned this several lives ago, but when I was a kid, you actually sanded off the paint, put on a primer, and then the painter would paint the wall. Now with all this home improvement stuff, the primer is already in the paint, and then there's a fast drying agent on the eggshell paints, not the ones that are enamel based, not the stuff you paint in your bathroom. And that fast drying agent draws the color down. You'll see a lot of color on the back of your canvases. I had people reporting it was happening to some of their golden paints that were a little bit more translucent. Hi, Fairy Art Mother, how you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you today. So people were complaining, and I said, well, you have to blow it across. You know, so many times when we're doing a bloom, it's going under the white and back up the other side, like down the road to grandmother's house you go and come up the other side. And some of that paint's hidden under the white. And she said, no, it's only when I'm using that translucent golden. This is several years ago. And the same thing was happening with the primary elements because they're translucent in order for a lot of light refraction. Now I noticed that the girl that came out with the whole bloom technique, we know who she is. She, in the first 6 months when she was using primary elements, she was actually stacking an opaque tube paint on the bottom, like an Amsterdam turquoise or whatever, right, across the base, and then stacking primary elements and interference, maybe a translucent color, another tube paint, another primary elements, maybe a couple more interferences, and then her cell activator was on top. But she protected that translucent paint by putting a opaque color on the bottom, okay? Now, and I've got a bunch of cans up here I'm gonna have to remove, but Sara Taylor, I watched this video where she did a bloom swipe, and girl after my own heart, basically she took deep base, which that's what our vivid enamel is, by the way. We offer this for people who, you know, a lot of people can't get it in the state that they're in. And so she was using basically our vivid enamel base, right, with, I left it behind me, with 1 part, equal parts of Blick acrylic, which is this Dick Blick white teaching white, mixing it with basically essentially what our enamel is, and then approximately 25% of, and my bottle's huge, GAC 800, right? And 25% water. She keeps talking about her consistency being in warm honey, okay? Now, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try a bloom swipe on this 11 by 14. As a matter of fact, Kathy Markey on the phone, a half hour before this started, she goes, could you ever please do a bloom? And I went, well, I'm gonna try. All right, we're gonna try. So her mixture for her colors, and she does use quite a few primary elements in her pieces, was equal parts of basically our vivid enamel to varnish, but she split the varnish up in half. Oh, I split my glove already. Half of the varnish was the Joe Sonia, and half the varnish was a triple thick varnish. So think of 1 part enamel, and then mix these two together, and 1 part of this mixture to make what she calls warm honey. Now, the piece that dried, she showed it at the beginning of the video, and it was beautiful. The colors dried gorgeous, flat. I mean, everything you want. No splits, no cracks, no nothing. So it's been a very long time since I tried a bloom. I actually promised her, the young lady that came out with this technique, that I wouldn't show it for a year. I guess that's kind of a mistake of my part. It's not her fault, it's my fault that I agreed to a year. And so while I was blooming and blowing the whole time when the class came out, I'm feeling a little rusty right now. And rather trying to blow with my mouth, I have my little handy dandy mini leaf blower. Let's hope that helps, right? Now, one good thing about the move, once I move, I have multiple cameras to set up. So I promise you the day will come when I won't have to be painting with this cell phone that I'm looking at in like 4 or 5 inches from my face while I'm trying to paint behind it, right? Eventually we'll be able to use the, God, you guys, thank you so much. Okay, you're so sweet. We are going to mix our colors up, though, together on camera, but I pre-mixed what she calls her warm honey mix. I just mixed it in this can because it was empty after I poured the triple thick out. So this is where I've got my 50% enamel and 50% Joe Sonia triple thick mix. This is my white that I made with her recipe. Now, she says it's supposed to be warm honey. I keep adding a little bit more water because you and I, all of us know the titanium white has a tendency to keep thickening. So this may be right. My instinct's just to add just one more little dash of water to it. Let's see if we can get this thing spun around and see if we're on camera. So I'm going to add just a teeny weeny bit of water. I don't want it too thin. This is my spray bottle here. The point is, in theory, you want your base and you want your colors identical consistency. Hey, Penny, how you doing? Welcome back, you guys. I've missed you guys. I missed you guys terribly over the weekend. I really got caught up in looking for places, figuring out how we're going to do this move. See, it's still a little bit thick. And if I'm going to compare it, because they're supposed to be identical, right? At least that's what they say. Let's pop the top off of this little sucker. They're supposed to be, hey, Cindy, you didn't miss a thing, sweetheart. Your timing couldn't be more perfect. I just kind of explained some of the challenges of White House paint. And then I started talking about Sara Taylor's mix. I will repost it, but remember, you need to go take a look at her channel. Okay, so see how that's pouring a little bit faster? Now, mine's going to look a little bit more brownish. My triple thick Varathane, it was like several years old, so is there a little bit of a caramel color to it? Normally, it wouldn't look like that. It would be like a clean, bright white. But see how that's running like that warm honey? And this, and of course, it's the titanium white in that acrylic. See, it's stopping and starting. It's not really running like the warm honey. So, again, I've seen Melly D do this umpteen times where she kept adding a little bit of water and stir it, a little bit of water and stir it, because consistency is all about what we're trying to do with these techniques. And if you don't have the right consistency, something's going to fail. More importantly, oops, a little water came out of there. More importantly, you don't want them drying at different rates. I think that's probably the most important thing in this. You don't want the colors, see, it's still a little bit thick. I think I'm going to add a tiny touch more, but I got a whole gallon jug to do this. I think I want to add a tiny bit of GAC 800, just a dash. Come on, buddy. Of course, the spinner's trying to stir it while I'm pouring it in. I was mixing these up while you guys were waiting for me, and when I saw that we were 4 minutes past time, I knew we had to start. So, okay, let's live with that. All right, so that's the white. This is the base for the colors. Okay, and just to be sure, remember when we spun last time, everybody told me to put a tiny bit of paint on the back of my piece so it would stick. And I don't want to just put a big blob down. I guess I'm a little OCD. I'm just going to run some on the back edges so when I spin this thing, it doesn't spin off in my face. But I tell you what, I got so excited seeing another artist step away from the white house paint because I knew what it was doing to the colors, and especially ours. Anything that sparkles and shines and needs that translucency for that sparkle to show is going to be affected. Okay. Let's not skid, dude. Will it spin? Looks like it's going to spin. Okay. This is going to be interesting because, again, the camera's a few inches from my face, so everybody knows. So let's get some colors mixed. I'll kind of scoot this a little bit forward. Colors I've chosen was Pineapple Crush, a color called Blissful Bordeaux, Rhapsody Rose. Sorry, my only Fennel Flower is in this big tub. I still haven't gotten it. And I have a few interferences I'm going to mix up. So let's get started on getting these colors mixed. And if you guys have not used Pineapple Crush, one of the videos that went viral for Sara, I think she called it Golden Pearls. That video went viral, and it was, she reached out to me, she says, I'm in love with, well, that's good to know, Scarlett. Scarlett's saying that the White House paint can yellow, and it can. It's a risk with any kind of paint. I mean, you know, not knowing what you're working with. So I'm not surprised. All right. So I'm going to try to just, it's a little bit different because normally you see the varnish go in, but since this is already mixed up, you see the varnish go in first. I'm going to average about what I think is about an ounce. This is eyeballing it. And again, it's a slightly caramel color because my triple thick varnish was like, this is from at least 2019 when I was doing all my blooming tests and I was playing with triple thick. That's the last time I played with the triple thick. Sorry to say. But fact of life, guys. That's good to know, though, about that. I did not know that the house paint can yellow. Thank you for reporting that. I love hearing any kind of information, right? That's going to keep us all informed. So the Pineapple Crush, and yes, I forget what set this is from. It could be in the Jelly Bean set. I will have to look it up. Oh, that's so pretty. God, I love that color. Ay, 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 ay. And I know it's a little off the normal path for me to do a wine and a yellow orange, but this was a recipe that I took off her Bloom Swipe recipe. So this is her Bloom color recipe, right, for her colors. It's not her Pearl Pour, honey. And I actually copied and pasted the whole thing off. I'll try to link the video that I saw yesterday on. It's about a year old, and it was the most beautiful Bloom Swipe that she did. And I said, okay, I can run with this, right? I love her work. So I'll tell you what, I'll sit and tell you all the artists that inspire me out there. I mean, I have no problem sending you their way. I am in just awe. Well, that's a really nice Bordeaux red. Yeah, I know who Shaylee is. You made me say it now, Cindy, see? It's not Shaylee who's changing the mix. This is Sara Taylor. Oh my God. No, Penny, it's a lot longer to find a place than just a couple days, but I had to start looking and talking to people and figuring what we're going to do. Look at that Blissful Bordeaux. Oh my God. Even in the acrylic, wow, look how that is such a pretty color. Yeah, Blissful Bordeaux. Now I know the Pineapple Crush is a little bit brighter, but when you see this Fennel Flower next to the Bordeaux, I think it's going to be stunning. I'm trying to stick with a color theme and not go my rainbow route like I normally do. She's a rainbow. Yeah, I'm a rainbow. So here is the fabulous Fennel Flower. Wow. Now, Kathy, are you in the feed? Kathy Markey, I just saw an order come through, and she's the sweetheart I just hung up with. We were talking on the phone, and she said she was going to watch us, but I think she's a little shy, and she doesn't talk up. See how pretty these two colors will go well together? It's kind of fallish, but winter's still here, guys. I guess because the weather's so darn cold, right? Now, here's Rhapsody Rose. This should be a slightly pinker tone, even though it looks pretty dark in the jar. They're beautiful. Oh my God. You're right, Marjorie. Fennel Flower is one of my absolute favorite colors. It's on my table in a big pot. What do you think? What do you think I think about Fennel Flower? And I seem to introduce it almost every chance I get, right? Almost every chance I get. Okay, let's get these things put to the side. Let's see what our Rhapsody Rose looks. You started blooming. Oh, yeah. That abalone shell is stunning. Cindy said she was using the abalone shell in her blooms. Okay, so this is a little bit pinker. It'll add another nuance to this. Okay, just to say I added some interferences. Let's put these up here. Just don't dump it on your canvas yet, Leslie. No mess, no fuss. Get your paper towels out and keep things clean. Let's get some interferences going, some more bling bling from the Bling It line. Those were primary elements we played this. This is some of the Bling It colors. Now, I'm gonna play with a color called, I have interference violet and red here, but I'm also gonna play with some of that Aurora, the opal color that's in that Glasswing butterfly set. Oh, come on, don't knock that stick out. Let's get a little bit more in here. I'm so glad to see you guys. I have missed you terribly. I mean, this is horrible. I swear, if there's any way I can do this, I never want to skip a live again. But you guys know if I always message you early, I'll try to put it out at least an hour in advance, if not 2 to 3 hours in advance if something's happening. So I don't want to, have you depend upon me in the very last second somehow I'm not there. I don't want to do that to you. That's not going to be my style. So, okay, so here's the interference violet that Mandy's been asking for. Yes, we know that'll be really pretty with this. Now, that red is pretty, but I'm going to add something to this. Your chat disappeared? Go back to live chat. It could be that you went to top chat instead of live chat. Here's some interference red I'm putting in with the Aurora, right? And then I'm going to put some violet diamond in with the violet. Yay, you found us. Good. So here's the violet diamond going into the violet. Get all the beautiful interferences out of the way. So we have plenty of room on the table, and I don't want to knock anything over. Uh-oh, I didn't make my cell activator. Oops. Normally I have that made in advance. Yeah, this is really interesting because that opal, see how it's got kind of this strange gray cast? So it's really pretty under the cell activator. It's going to be gorgeous. 18 years, heck, yeah, I tell you, I know I'm going to have to give a lot of stuff away, but I'm just going to have to find a big house to put everything. I mean, I have so much filming stuff in my garage. I'm not bragging, but I've collected a lot of canvases and wood panels over the years. And now that we're doing these lives, I'm so excited to be able to do this for you guys. I've got surfaces. I got color. Is Hope going somewhere? Did she have to leave? Oh, sorry, Hope. Good luck on your plane ride, sweetheart. See you in a bit. So good to see you here. So this is interference violet with diamond violet. See how that light's just picking that up? That's what's going to happen under our piece. Okay, I'm going to sit these little guys aside, out of the way. Get it out of our way. Now I have my littlest leaf blower over here. The only place I could plug it in was over there, so I'm going to have to be really careful crossing over when I'm trying to blow my swipe. Let me get the top back on my warm honey mix. That's Sarah's word for it. She's right. It's a good description. You want it like a warm, beautiful, fluid honey. And the trick is no matter what technique we're doing, the consistency needs to be the same. Hey, Sheldon, welcome, sweetheart. Good to see you here. So glad you could join us and watch me play, even if it's just for a little bit. Okay, it's all good. Yeah, that Bordeaux, this might be from the Puttin on the Glitz set because it's really glitzy. We're going to have to look that up. And let's just restir the fennel flower so it's all mixed up. And then our pineapple crush, which is really, really sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. Okay, let's check our black cell activator, see how much we have. I don't know if I have to make a little bit more. I just realized I didn't mix any more up. So I take my old gloves and cover up my cups with them. It's a great way to store stuff and no waste. Well, you know what? I probably have plenty of cell activator in here. Other than because it's sat for a while, it may be, no, it still doesn't look too thin. It's gotta, here we go, we'll use this. Okay, that's great news. Now I have white, but I think I'm gonna pass on the white for right now. We'll use the black cell activator, okay? All right, now, this magic pillow that Sarah's formula is gonna make, and it's out of the acrylic white paint, which thrills me to no end, meaning we're using real white paint and not that house stuff. See if I can get a little bit closer to me. Yep, it still spins. Okay, it's all good. Get a little centered here. Looks pretty centered. All right. One last check. See, it still has that. Well, okay, I'll use it. That stop and start worries me. Because warm honey should consistently pour, not stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. And this wheel just keeps wanting to turn. So let's pour a generous pillow. Yes, Sheldon, I'm actually trying a balloon, and even without my, yeah, you know what? When it first came out, Penny said they'll be run on the acrylic white. When it first came out, I think it's gone on a couple bucks. It's really thick. That's why I have to keep thinning it down. It's a really cool, bright white. It was $15.99 for half a gallon. I think it's went up a couple bucks. But when you thin that down with water, just to get to the consistency, it's almost a gallon. It makes at least 3/4 of a gallon. Then that's not bad for 17 bucks. And it's artist white. So, okay. I'm just gonna see how my spinner's working and pull out my pillow just a little. And I'm nervous because the expert bloomers are in the house. We have Mandy and Sheldon in here. Oops. Let's make sure our little blower actually turns off and on. Yes, it does. Okay, so is it gonna blow off my bubbles? All right, so I think I'm gonna spin it just a little bit more. I kind of want the paint extended. Gosh, I hope I have enough in there, to be honest. Because we gotta have enough white that's gonna extend all the way out, right, guys? I mean, that's the trick. Everybody's doing that. They wanna make sure that you got enough to cover all of your edges. Spinning should pull out my pillow just a little bit. I know this is not an even square, it's a rectangle. Pull this over a little bit this way. I know, I'm wasting time here because you can tell when I get a little nervous. All right, Well, first color down, I'm going to try this Blissful Bordeaux. And just going to kind of drizzle. I know you're going to probably think I'm no bloomer, but it looks kind of thick to me. Okay, thanks. No judgment there, Judy. Actually, compared to White House paint, it's kind of thin, but I agree that when you're dealing with the titanium white, and titanium white keeps thickening up. So that's the interference violet with the violet diamond I just put on. Now I'm going to put this pineapple crush in here. God, that's such a pretty color. When she did her gold thing, she just used gold and pineapple crush, and it was so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take some of this red. Hey, Abby. How you doing, honey? Welcome, welcome. I'm going to take a tiny bit of this Aurora mixed with interference red. I've got a little interference on top of that pineapple crush. Okay. Then I'm going to put some Rhapsody Rose down. Yeah, this is pretty thin. This was the Sara Taylor mix. It's 50% varnish and 50% deep base. I love that warm honey. Now her Blick acrylic mix, I did add more water and GAC 800 than she recommended because the titanium white kept thickening up. This is Rhapsody Rose. Hey, Terry. Well, thanks so much, girls. This is not her regular mix. That's not her pearl mix, Hope. I mean, Mandy. This is her bloom mix. And she said to have it like warm honey. Her pearl pores, her color's really thin like water. I mean, like water. So I agree. But this was directly off of her bloom swipe video that she posted. And I duplicated the recipe precisely, at least in my can. All right, so, gee, thanks, Mandy. I mean, I'm literally mixing it and it looks like warm honey, exactly what you told me to do, hon. But when you go and you look at her pearl pores, they're like water. So I'm just doing what her video said to do. And it's a bloom swipe, so she'll blow a little bit, right? Now, I've got my extra big palette knife here. I'm going to try to go over with a little bit of black here. And see what happens. This is my black cell activator, 3 parts Amsterdam black oxide and 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and swipe it that way. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, it's sure happy with the swiping. Oh my God. I know you guys can't see the whole darn thing, but oh my God, that's gorgeous. Can you see a close-up of that? See how it's immediately all these things are popping up? Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. I might not even have to blow this darn thing. I thought I was going to have to blow it, but maybe. We'll see. I've got my little blower thingy ready. So back off. put more black on the bigger square palette, our swiper. I am Evie. I'm going to do the next section. Hi, Terry. How you doing, sweetheart? So good to see you. Okay. Now it looks like I picked up a little bit of that white paint on there, not as much. Nope, that's exactly what she's using. It's 50% varnish for the bloom swipe. Let me get some paper towels. I gotta wipe my fingers off here. Now I'm gonna do something with that center area, right? And I think, okay, so I went here and over, here and over, here and over. So I gotta do something with that center area. And I don't, this is kind of big. I also have this one, but this is where everybody gets in a predicament and say, okay, now what do I do? You know, if you're not like Winterstrom or Sarah or Nikki D or all these guys doing these every single day, or Mandy, Roca, and Sheldon who are doing these every day, blow. I'm not going to blow on that girl. That hasn't been activated yet. So we'll see. I'm just going to try to take it and swipe it out that way. And we're getting instant cells, so it looks like that worked. Okay, so before I start adding all the other white around this thing, because I'm going to add some white on the edges. Let's see if there's anything I feel like cleaning up, like right here. This is going to give me way too much gray. Why it introduced yellow, I don't know. But I'm going to scrape off right now because I can always add white right here. So I'm going to touch up right here where the black and white is. Get that out of there. I don't think I need to blow anything. I might blow right there, right? A little tiny bit right there, and I see some untouched color. That Fennel Flower looks like it needs a little bit pulled over. Now, same thing's happening here. This big puddle of black and white. I'm going to pull some of that off because I don't need it. And a little bit of that black and white off. I'm going to add a little bit of white back in here. And there was this other section over here where I wanted to pull this gray off. I'm not watching any comments right now, guys. So if you're talking to me, I'm paying attention to my piece. I'm staring at my piece. Cells. I know. I'm so excited. We're going to get cells here. Cells. Thank you, Terry. Me too. I really needed to show up today. I needed this so badly. All right. So this is the next thing I saw her do. She started pulling her white out very carefully, right? Or poured a little bit white where it was required, just a tiny bit of white to try to fill in the spot. Because we want to give this, you know what, if this works, you're going to probably see me do one of these every week. This is fun. I'm having so much fun. So if you've avoided doing one of these, stop it. I mean, I I shouldn't say this. I felt like some dried up old prune that hasn't done this for ages. Just ask Fairy Art Mother. She hears me stress over this all the time. And I'm thrilled. God, those colors are pretty. That wine, that Blissful Bordeaux with the Fennel Flower and the Pineapple Crush, especially that right there. I'm in love with that section right there. I'm not touching it. Let's just let that sucker spin and see where it goes, but I don't want it to spin off too much. I am loving that whole pattern that's there. So I'm just gonna kind of gently pull out the white, and if there's no white to pull out, I'm gonna add a little white. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, sweetie. I see you do this all the time, and it's like second nature to you and Sheldon. It just really is. For me, okay, now one other section that I'm seeing that I'm questioning, okay, is there's an awful lot of black and white here in this pattern, but I don't think I should disturb it. Now, Evie wants me to blow. There is one section that did not get cell activator on it. It's right there. So I don't know. I don't want to screw this up. Part of me is telling me just to leave it alone and spin it and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to listen to myself. This is the same stuff you guys are going to go through, so you get to see me go through all the stress on camera instead of you, right? Isn't that how this works? You're right. No? What do you mean no, Evelyn? Don't blow spin. Yeah, I can scoop and I can, oh, I'm not going to scoop and drag this. I'm going to spin this, but I could do a scoop and drag once it's spun out just to kind of fix areas, like pull it out. All right. Anchors away, everybody. And maybe let it tilt a little bit further down here. Oh my God, Terry, thank you. Terry just sent me a payment. That's really, really sweet of her. All right, I just need to get over it and literally blow it. Reminds me of a betta fish. That's pretty interesting. I feel like I need a little bit more white on those edges. I think the white that I put in there is not grabbing it because it looks like it is pulling here, but not quite enough there. Yeah, and I think I need a little bit more paint over here just to get this to pull out. And I don't want to lose this part on the top. Yeah, you're right. Add, oh my God, look at those colors on camera. Can you see them sparkle? Whoa! Okay, I don't want to lose that really cool top section here. So I'm kind of pulling it, let gravity kind of drag it down a little bit. It gives you a chance to see what they look like. Wow. Wow, those colors are so pretty. And when her piece dried, it was perfect. Nothing cracked, nothing. Okay, now let's see if we can't spin it out a little bit more. Because now I've got that pulled down. Yeah, it's crazy shiny. You're absolutely right. Now, see over here, I don't really care for that little part. I think that's that same spot I keep fixing. I don't know. I feel like I should swipe this part a little bit again. We're not getting a lot of cells. Let it ride. Okay. I must admit, this little spinner, it's only $15.99 on Amazon. It's a great little glass spinner. No? What do you mean no? What do you mean? You don't want me spinning it? What did you mean no, Mandy? Let it ride? Or don't do any more swiping. I think that's what she meant no to. So I'm going to fix this corner here where the white's uneven and stare at it. This is a point when you're at home, take a photograph of it and walk away. Apparently, they say you can get a better idea of your composition from a photograph. Yeah, I won't reswipe. I think you're right. But if you look at it, then you can really check your composition out from a photograph. Oh my God, I cannot believe how pretty those colors are. They are sparkling like diamonds. Oh, I can't pick it up for very long. It's going to get all over my lap. I think this was interesting, maybe a little crazy that I wanted to leave that there, but I thought this is probably one of the most interesting parts of this piece. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't know, part of me wants to, like Sheldon was saying, just kind of drag some color. I don't know, I kind of like this spot. Should I leave that white spot in the middle? You love the composition, then I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm going to do is just keep cleaning up this little gray stuff because I don't want that drying in my piece. But then I also don't want to keep screwing around with it, right? I don't want to ruin my first attempt. There we go. I just put some black on there. So one more time, I'm going to make sure the edges are good. They're all smooth because we want this to dry right. Yeah, that's a good idea, Jennifer. When you take a photo, Jennifer B saying, change the photo to black and white, and then you can really study your composition. Okay, no touchy. Oh. All right, you guys. Well, it looks like to me, someone take away the palette knife. Can you put your canvas towards the edge? You can put, yeah. Puny spin. Here's a puny spin. You know what? I see the beta fish. All of a sudden, I see the darn beta fish. You guys are right. No? God, I have time to do a second one, and I don't think I have a blank canvas here to play with, darn it. We're only 8 minutes into the live. I'm not gonna touch the color. I'm just making sure this is even. That everything is smooth and even. And I'll leave it alone. But this color combination, this was the Blissful Bordeaux, Pineapple Crush, Fennel Flower. Of course you guys are right. And the Rhapsody Rose. Now I won't reswipe. The only thing I was thinking, Terry, is if I had another canvas, I could set this aside and do a second piece because I have all these colors mixed up. But I don't think, I'm looking around the room, I don't know if I've got something within hand's reach that I can use to do a second piece on. I have a really big one, but it's too big for the spinner. And, okay, you guys stay right there. Look at how pretty it is. I'm going to walk to the other side of my table and see if I can't find something. Because I'm so enthused. I'm so excited. I want to do a second one right now. Call me crazy. And yes, I am. I'm known to be rather crazy. Okay, here's a little itty bitty oval one. Let's play with that. Because normally you guys get 90 minutes out of me, and we're only at 48 minutes. So I had no idea how short this would take. So everybody just say a prayer that Harley doesn't jump up. Looks like a leaf that rolled over the edge. It kind of does. All right, so this I'm going to set aside. We're all going to say a prayer that Harley doesn't jump up on this. Yeah, I'm going to do another one, okay? But the colors are so pretty. They're so beautiful. And they're all mixed up. So I've got two little ovals. They're the cheapy ones, and so if I had to sit and do a spin swipe, they wouldn't work. Oh my goodness, Erica's here watching. Woohoo! Erica from Artist Till Death is watching me. Hey Erica, how you doing, honey? I know you can only hear, but hope the wedding was fabulous. By the way, the Purely Pigment sets too are ready. So when and if you're ever ready to. Now this is just a little piece, but something we can fool around with. Hey, Art by Sparkle, how you doing, honey? Good to see everybody. Yeah, I want to do another one. I'm sorry. I don't want to stick to just one. No, I want to have more fun. Let's have some more fun. Now remember, code Springtime23 takes 23% off. And if your order is $99 after the code, you're going to earn free freight. There's my commercial. So if you don't own any Blissful Bordeaux or that Pineapple Crush, I hate to say it, but you are missing out a little bit. All right, so that's going to stick that to the center. A bloom flower? Nah. No. Bye, Abby. I don't know. If I was going to do a flower, it'd probably be a different shape. I know doing the swipes is not as risky as the bloom flower, but this time I'm just going to kind of make sure all the edges have a little bit of moisture to them. And then I'll pour a little more in the middle if we need it. But bye, Evelyn. Talk to you later, sweetheart. So glad you can join us. She's doing something with her hubby today. She said she just popped in real quick. Hope he's okay. I know Barb Lebowski messaged me yesterday. She's got a lot going on with her hubby too. You know, it's one thing or another, a spouse or a kid, or it seems to be that's life, man. Got to take care of our family. Okay, this is Sara Taylor's base paint. It is one part, it's one part acrylic white, one part basically vivid enamel, 25% GAC 800, enough water to have it behave like honey, so it pours. It's not house paint. And then the colors are mixed in 50% varnish, so basically it's half triple thick, half Joe Sonia mixed with 50%. All right, Mandy, let's play some more. Yeah. So I do like that color combination, putting this on the bottom. I really, really do. Trying to look at the piece next to me. I cannot believe how beautiful that Pineapple Crush came out of there. All right, little piece. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, she does that mix. She calls it her warm honey mix. So this time I'll put the Fennel Flower next to the Blissful Bordeaux. A little bit more Fennel Flower than what we had last time. I'm in love with that color. Let's put some Interference Violet and Sparkle Violet on top of that. Actually, not Sparkle Violet. This is Diamond Violet mixed with Interference Violet. Oh my God, those colors mixed together are just gorgeous. Hey, Erica's here. Artist Till Death is in the room, everybody. Everybody say hello to Erica Bauer. She's from Artist Till Death. She has a fabulous channel. Her and Jeff, her husband now, actually do beautiful work, just gorgeous work. And if you want to learn about resin, they're the bomb diggity. Okay, so here's Rhapsody Rose going right on top of my violet. Woof, 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 woof. I don't know. Do I do Pineapple Crush this time? I'm kind of liking this color combination. I think I'm just going to add a tiny bit more of, keep talking about the Fennel Flower. Let's add a tiny bit more Fennel Flower on top of this. I know I'm getting lost in those two colors, but dang, they look beautiful on camera. They just do. Oh, and here is that Aurora. That's what I call our opal color mixed with some interference red. It's really pretty under the black cell activator. It'll be gorgeous. So let's get a nice healthy portion of that on top. Kind of looks grayish, but as soon as it mixes with the other color, that gray goes away. It kind of has a funny gray, I call it the opal effect, right? All right, well, at least I had one that was somewhat successful. Oh my God, thank you, Erica. She's just too sweet. This Leslie's magic. Leslie's playing with bloom swipes for the first time in several years. I had promised you know who I wouldn't do any for a year. Well, she, that way she could sell her class. We wanted her to have an opportunity to, sell her class. But then I just stopped doing it, which is kind of dumb on my part. All right. This swiper may be a tiny big. To do that here. I want to make sure I don't have too much cell activator on the blade because you can go overboard on the black cell activator and then it seems to dominate what you're doing here, right? All right. Okay, well, we're going to go straight down the middle here. Wow, that turned out gorgeous. Wow. I might like this one better than the first one. I'm getting more comfortable with that palette. It doesn't hurt. Practice makes perfect, right, kids? Practice, practice, practice. All right. I'm kind of going to do the same thing. Pull it down. Just kind of do that to it. But I have a tendency to make these long little tips. It looks like the nose of some sailfish, right? It almost looks like, what is those seahorse shape type thing? Right? Okay, instead of wiping off all the black, we're just going to spin this sucker and see what happens. I must admit, this spinner works. It really, 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 really works. Because I'm not moving it more than you saw me spin it once. Look how crazy that is. So composition-wise, I'm looking at my composition. I don't know if by moving this out, if that's going to make a difference. Put some white back on here. Take off that little tail. I know you guys probably like that little tail. I kind of want to do one more little thing. Bear with me on removing some of this black. Okay, everybody might be yelling, going no, but okay, if I wanted to swipe this way, yikes. This is where I get in trouble with figuring out which direction. You're right, I could do the little swirly doos. You got a good point. You mean play with these? Yeah. I still want to clean up that black. I don't like so much black and white in this thing. We're kind of about the color, right? Now, I've never done those, so you guys can laugh at me now. I have never, ever done the skewer swirl. I'm not even sure where I would start. What do I swirl it here? I've never done a skewer swirl, guys, ever. So what do I do? Just kind of do this. I don't know where to begin. And you know what? It's not exactly something you want to practice on camera in front of people. I was going to try to swipe a little bit this way to break up the composition. I think she's right about the skewer swipe. Sure wish Erica was here. She'd tell me exactly where to go. Even though she's a resin expert, she's got a real great eye for composition. This little tail doesn't really belong here either. Oh my God, but that red color, oh my God, I caught a glimpse of with the color of the tail. It's like this sparkling red violet. Dear Lord. I mean, I know this is fun and everybody does this, but you're seeing me feeling a little lost going, okay, am I doing it right? You're welcome, sweetheart. We love you, Erica. We do. You are the bomb, baby. She makes us feel more and more confident about working with resin. It's such a gift. Wow, those colors are magnificent. I'm just gonna kind of stretch it over one way and get my white a little bit more even here. I'm sure loving these colors on camera. They're gorgeous. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm gonna do one more spin. This is clean. I've got all this uneven, weird paint that doesn't look straight. And then I'll spin it again. Just got to be real careful not to touch any of the color while I'm doing this. Those little swirls are kind of cute. I need to practice that more. I found I did better by the butt end than the tippy end. I don't know if that works for you, but, and then I just kind of did whoop-de-doo. Well, okay, I'm gonna let this set up, see what it does. Or am I gonna keep spinning? I don't want it going any further off the top. So I'll try to get it. I love that section right there. That is stunning. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this down just a little bit and stretch out that part that I really, really love a whole lot. Let me see if I can get the camera tipped up so you can see the whole thing. Stretch this out just a little bit. Thank you, darling. The colors are magnificent. This one was all Fennel Flower, Blissful Bordeaux, and Rhapsody Rose. And I didn't use any Pineapple Crush in this. And that Fennel Flower with that wine color is just magnificent. Okay, a little bit of heavy white here. Let's get it smooth without touching the paint. And then I'll give it one more spin and I think we're done. Yeah, I'll go look it up on Amazon. Saskia was kind enough to tell everybody last time, but I'm surprised how cheap this thing was. Oops. And how it just keeps turning and turning and turning. I mean, I'm not doing anything to it. It's doing all this motion all on its own. Those little curls are kind of cute. I need to practice them, but those little curls aren't bad. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it right now. I'm gonna put this other piece back up here. So we got room for them side by side. And get my gloves off and say thank you to you guys for hanging with me while I went through my very first bloom swipe. Sara Taylor's recipe worked for me. We'll find out though when it dries tomorrow. Now her piece is dried beautifully like glass. Thank you, Denise. I mean, Dealey. You're a sweetheart. It's nice and big. Yeah, it is. Actually, this spinner feels like it's 20 inches wide or even bigger and not that expensive at all. So, okay, one more time, piece of business. Springtime 23 gives you 23% off your order. If the order's $99 or better, you get free freight. I will be back on Friday. I really missed you guys terribly. I'm so glad everybody came on today to join me. I'm thrilled you guys are here. I'll be back on Friday. I'm not going to promise anything, but I sure would love to come back sometime between now and Friday if I can figure out the hours, because I feel like I still owe you guys one from last week. I really do. So I missed you guys terribly. So I will see you on Friday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining me, and hugs and kisses. Bye, guys.